wanted to talk about different issues today, and I have decided to talk about Roundup. I am actually shooting a documentary on this issue. It's a real danger for us, a danger that is pushed by agribusiness. Obviously, it is linked to GMOs, and it is an important health issue. I think I can say it's the greatest health scandal happening right now on the planet. So Monsanto, you all know about, it's my favorite company, right? So Vandana and I share this love for Monsanto. We all know that Monsanto is a criminal, and I would like to mention 3 points. I would like to explain how they managed to lie to us so that Roundup is still available on the market, and how they lied to European authorities. They tried to pretend that there was no problem. There are 400,000 tons of Roundup that were used around the globe in 2014. It is the favorite tool, as they say, of gardeners and so on. The first lie of Monsanto is that they said it was biodegradable. We all remember this advert in France. I used it in my movie. Do you remember this little dog, Rex, that ate the food that was produced with Roundup? This advert was screened 381 times on television and on public channels as well. So obviously this advert was a lie, and actually people complained. Again, I talked about this in my movie. There was they were trying to show. They were investigating this lie, basically, and they said that it was less toxic than salt. Monsanto then was stopped. He couldn't say anymore that it was biodegradable and that it was non-dangerous. In Britain, then, they complained. They said it was a terrible advert, that it was a lie.
Constitue aujourd'hui le premier polluant des eaux de surface de Bretagne. Et finalement, Monsanto sera condamné, mais aussi.
In the end, Monsanto was condemned, but only with a little 10,000 euro fine for fake publicity. These showed that only part of the product was biodegradable, which is proving the lie of this commercial. It was put on the market in 1974 and invaded totally the planet. Even if I'm just mentioning 2 frauds, there's been a lot more. This product was never been tested before. First, there was a trial in the 80s with the industrial laboratories that allowed Monsanto to put Roundup on the market and to obtain the homologation and the protection of the environment. They discovered that dozens of studies had been faked, hiding a huge number of deaths among rats and mice that had been tested. So the person who's in charge of the test in this private laboratory was a toxicologue of Monsanto, Paul Wright. You may know him. There were 30 studies on the glyphosate that had been submitted to this lab. And there was a little thing that I would like to say, just to show how people do not care about details. these people said that it was difficult to not doubt of the scientific integrity of this study, especially when these scientists investigated on the uterus of male rabbits. In 91, and I'm just I'm citing them. I put it in my book, and Monsanto did not try to put me on a trial. Another serious example, they were accused of faking studies about pesticides on fruits and vegetables to measure the authorized levels in the food. Another type of these crazy studies. The company never had to pay for these fraud, and the Roundup stayed on the market one more time. So as you understood, it is not a biodegradable product. It was put on the market when it was not tested properly. A lot of studies showed it. Professor Surly's has proved how these pesticides processes are a disaster, and that the test that had been done was absolutely useless. They also claimed that it was good for the environment, recommending to use this product without any protection. As I was saying in my introduction, I do consider that this product is very dangerous for your health and for the environment. It's one of the most dangerous poison ever. Since it came out on the market, a lot of scientific surveys by independent labs from the north, from the south, from Europe. There's been a lot of them, dozens and dozens of them. We're talking about them. And they talked about the effect of the glyphosate. It's one of the most used pesticides, and I'll focus on this element. They talk about this. The presence of this product that provoking cancer, sterility, miscarriages, neurologic dysfunctions, also at the hormonal level, on the liver, on the liver as well, provoking diarrhea, severe diarrheas. And all of these diseases are due to the use of these products. We also have seen 40 new diseases that we could observe on plants. That a lot of insects were also touched and had to pay the consequences for the use of this product. So we're really talking about a huge health scandal, even more than for other types of products that had been used. We find it in all the food. It's a very dangerous chemical, probably one of the most dangerous in the whole history of pesticides. And since it was put on the market, we cannot stop counting the damages that have been observed on the whole living system. And all of these have been proved and observed by different independent labs. So why is it so dangerous? First of all, we never talk about this product. To begin with, I didn't know. I was not aware of it. I just discovered that originally the glyphosate was not conceived to be used in the pesticides, but more for industrial detergent. Starful Chemical Company obtained a patent for this chemical product, considered as a powerful product for metals and anything that would get in touch with these metals. This explains why we could observe all these diseases and intoxication for all these animals and insects. We can also find a lot of cadmium in the environment, even if it's in small doses. Sometimes we find that on soy, on colza, on fruits and vegetables. It totally attracts the heavy metals and get into living systems, organisms. And then it totally dissolves the good metals, the indispensable metals like magnesium, and amongst others. That's how we discovered in 2014 in Sri Lanka that 20,000 people, farmers, died because of this, because they had produced rice using Roundup. They got really sick, and we discovered that it was changing the water, and that we could discover there was a presence of heavy metals inside of the water. And that's how people would get sick. We also observed in the Leipzig lab that the animals had been killed. Porks, little baby porks, baby pigs, had died because of this. Just because of the use of glyphosate, the presence of glyphosate. It's also it is also an endocrine disruptor. Even in infinitely small doses, it creates cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer. It also affects testosterone and other hormones with irreversible results, obesity, sexual identity troubles, hormonal cancers, and these disruption that is created has also impacts. I've noticed in Argentina. I was in a conference where a lot of doctors had gathered, and they were telling us that a lot of kids that were recently born
if I may interrupt,
suffering from malformation. We'll have to conclude here.
Alors, perturbateurs endocriniens, vous le savez aussi, vous avez entendu parler, je suis obligée de faire très rapidement.
Endocrine disruptor, it has been recognized as cancerogenous by the Center about Cancer Research, for Cancer Research, sorry. And it is a very serious study. And another thing that we don't really know is that Monsanto obtained a patent for a very powerful antibiotic, which let us know that when we use Roundup, we also consume antibiotics. This will be my conclusion, and we have, because I think the whole world has to be aware of this. It's happening in fields. The results are catastrophic. I've really traveled the world to spread the word. And Roundup users, any plants that have grown and been surrounded by Roundup are now totally destroyed. And there is an estimation of Roundup consumption that rose of 1,200% in Argentina. So we are very far away from the promises from Monsanto, and the promises that using Roundup would allow us to use less pesticides.
We have one very brief question, very brief, so we may hear the whole panel.
Merci beaucoup, Marie-Monique.
Thank you very much, Marie-Monique, for this presentation. I just have a quick question. According to you, what leads European or French agencies, despite what WHO says about the use of Roundup, how can they not forbid the use of these products? What do you think? Well, it's the same old story, revolving doors. Recently, the European Agency for Food Security decided not to change the rules on Roundup use, and they even said it was not dangerous at all. And I've been working on this issue for quite some time now. They based the decision on a quite old report that was made in Germany. And according to 80% of the experts of this BFR work for the industry, the biotechnologies or agro-food industries. So, you know, it's the same old story. Private interests block the work of others. There are too many links between those at the top of these agencies and the industry. And this is something we will talk about. Yesterday, we launched our Monsanto Tribunal, and this is something we will work on in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.